This is Wilson Morales from Black Korean TV, talking to the cast of A La Carte. It's a funny show. I've seen most of the episodes, so let's get into, did any of you know each other prior to getting on the show, and what made you say yes to taking this show? Let's start off with you, Pauline.
Oh yeah, I didn't know anyone prior to it, but I had 8 chemistry reads where I met Jenna several times in the chemistry reads, and it was exciting going through the process of getting the role and taking the role.
What about you, Kendall?
So I know Jessie prior to the show, and then Jenna, I met her in the chemistry read and we bonded and clicked there. I didn't meet Pauline until being on set. I actually was a part of the pilot, and so I'm an OG, one of the OGs of A La Carte. But yeah.
Jenna?
I didn't know anybody prior. I met Pauline and Kendall on the chemistry read, and then Jessie, I met her at the table read, and it was great. And we actually all clicked when we got on set, and I love playing Shyra, and I literally truly have love for every single one of these guys.
And then Jessie.
I didn't know anyone except for Kendall. Kendall and I, we both do comedic content online, so I've been following him for a minute, and I went on a show a couple times too, so we knew each other very, very well in that aspect. For me, this was my first acting job, so I was like, let me just go ahead and take this, because I have been I've been auditioning for a year now, so this was the first one that I auditioned and I got. So I was like, let me take it. And it was very comedic, and the role calls for a lot of free thinking. And I feel like it was a good role for me to take.
Kendall, you mentioned it, you're the OG because you made it through the pilot,
yes.
And obviously everybody can attest to, like, you just mentioned, you've been auditioning for a year, and it doesn't always happen. You just got to keep trying and keep trying. And obviously you all made it for this one. So when you take on this role that each of you are playing, I like to think, there's a little bit of that character that's you. You got to find it in order to play it right. So, Jessie, what was it about this role that you said, I can do this?
Misha, she's very outspoken, and she's very, like, in your face with who and what she is. And she doesn't think in a box. She's very free thinking. And I feel like, although I haven't done everything she does in the show, I do think that way. Like, I really think that, listen, in the dating realm, do what you want to do. Like, you don't have to conform to the things that your parents told you to conform to. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to, today have the men's, have the men's. If you want to have the women's tomorrow, have the women's. If you want to have a sandwich, have a sandwich. Do what you feel is good for you. And so I feel like I could relate to that in the sense that do what is good for you. Think how you want to think, be who you are. So that's what made me relate to the character.
What about you, Pauline? Your character is kind of like happy-go-lucky and going with the flow, as we see in episode 1. How are you not like that character or like that character?
She's becoming happy-go-lucky. She cares too much what other people think of her. She always wants her friends' opinions. And I feel like I relate to that a little bit. I'm kind of coming out of that people-pleasing mentality I had when I was younger, when I was, a kid and stuff. And I was raised Southern, and also the character's Southern. So it kind of just made it a little easier when I went into the audition phase. I was just myself. When I audition, I try to just understand what's the character going through, get the lines right, make sure to be honest and connected to, your scene partners. And it was just a bonus that Mahogany was Southern, because sometimes that gets in the way for some of us Southern actors. People can hear a hint of our accent. We're a little more nasally. And so I was grateful that the part fit so well to things I was going through in my own life. Like, I had a rough dating experience. I was raised to find your husband and to, keep your legs closed, or, that you're wrong. But I don't think your sexual choices should define your moral compass. So I think that's the beautiful thing of this show.
Kendall, are trust fund kids that spoiled?
Trust fund kids are that spoiled? They could be.
You know, and when do we get to see the lawyer aspect of you?
You have to keep watching. You have to keep watching. But definitely with Rain, he is the voice of reason of his friends. I relate to Rain a lot because Rain and his dad is close. My dad and I are close. He's the only child. I'm the only child of my dad who raised me. He has these female friends. Growing up, I had female friends. If my following is 85% female. So I was like, I mean, I guess this me. I had to go ahead and jump into this, but I really enjoy playing it because when you're an actor, you get to be somebody that you're not. Like, it's a lot of things that Rain do that Kendall wouldn't do. But because it's Rain, you know, I had to tap in and go ahead and play this character. But I mean, it was fun playing Rain. I can't wait to see him evolve even more. And yeah, it was great working with these ladies. Like I said, I had female friends. I feel like, well, they are my friends now. We all get on the phone now and talk. So, you know, I think the chemistry is there even more and it's stronger. So season 2, it's over. Now, and to answer your question about the lawyer, I don't know. Because Rain don't really want to be a lawyer, okay? So let's see how this turns out.
You know, generally, it seems like initially you're the stable one, but then we have a turn of events that all of a sudden we're going to see your character break out to something different. You know, so for you, taking on this character, what was it? Is there any similarities?
So playing Shyra, when I had the audition, I had 2 very drastic, different scenes I had to do. And one of the scenes is probably the one that you saw, and then because I don't want to say it. And then there's another scene where I'm loving you know, my boyfriend who's played by Mike Merrill. And there's a lot of similarities with me and Shyra. Even when I did the audition, I said, if I don't get this, something's wrong with me. Like, you know what I mean? Like this is me. And so yeah, like I had a past. I have had rocky relationships without saying anything. And you know, Shyra's just very complex. I think that she wants this perfect idea of a life, a boyfriend, the white picket fence, the whole thing. And when it gets shaken up, she doesn't know what to do, what direction to go in. And so I love Shyra. I can't wait to see where it goes. And I can't wait for the world to see her evolve through the 6 episodes and season 2. I don't know where it's gonna go. You know what I mean? I'm just waiting to see also. So I love Shyra, and I hope everyone else loves her as well.
And what about you, Jess? So you just mentioned, obviously, you've been trying out for a long time. You finally got this role. You know, you already have a fan base from what people have seen you do elsewhere. You know, so how has, you know, throughout the 6 episodes, as you're reading the scripts and you're acting it out, have your skill set grown so far?
Oh yeah, I think skill sets have grown. You know, although this is my first acting job, I'm really good with improv. I'm currently on Wild 'N Out as a comedian. So, you know, that show keeps me on my toes because like we have to come up with stuff on the spot. So, you know, even when we're shooting a la carte, there's some scenes where I literally would just throw out a different line. Like I would give my lines different every time. Cause you know, they do different takes. I'm like, we're gonna do different takes, and I'm gonna give you a different line every time, and you just pick the best one, whatever. And but like a lot of us here, like we're comfortable with that. So when we would do that, like my castmates would laugh. It would be funny, and so I think that did help me out. You know, especially from the future. I hear that a lot of times for comedic actors, there is a lot of improv that does happen because they don't really want you to act. Even though you're in character, they want it to feel sincere. And so that will definitely help me stretch out that muscle.
Mm-hmm. Now the show is set in LA. So for anybody watching this who lives in LA, are they going to get like, oh, this is so LA, as opposed to like, this could be anywhere USA? You know, like, do people meet people the way they do in LA, as opposed to New York or Boston or Atlanta? Pauline, it says you got that character that does things differently.
Yes, it does feel very much LA. You'll see lots of palm trees, and there's a lot of scenic scenes. Like you get to see what LA looks like. And we even go up in the hiking trails. We go to some iconic places. It's not like the dating scene in other places. This is definitely an LA scene. Like you get a little some of everything in LA. And, you know, we even have a character in a relationship, Shyra and Rodney, which I don't know how people end up in relationships in LA. So, but they do. But then everybody else is struggling. And it's like, well, girl, you got a man. How do we get one? And they can't help you. It's LA, very LA. Guys don't seem to approach. I don't know why.
Yeah, but yeah, you're gonna see certain places like Hyde is a very popular place, especially on Sundays. Like I've been to Hyde on Sundays where they have brunch to bomb. Like if you're on the LA scene and you see Hyde, you're gonna be like, yeah, that's LA.
Yeah. And everybody that's in the show is not from LA besides Rain. Rain is the only one that was born and raised in Alabama.
Do you guys live in LA now, or you guys are different places?
I live in LA.
We're all different places.
Yeah, wow. Jessie and I are in Atlanta.
I ain't telling where I live.
Yeah,
we're
all
stalkers.
Actually, I think half of us are in LA, half of us are in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And then I'm in the middle of the United States.
And Jessie, you know, you have your scenes with Kandi, and you know, in a very unusual spot. You know, did Jessie just? Okay, look like you just froze for a second. And so, what's that experience like working with Kandi and describing the store that she works in?
Well, you know, Kandi Burruss, she's an icon. She's a legend. You know, she's the moment. She don't ever skip no bag. Kandi gonna be everywhere, child. She gonna get a check. I met Kandi actually back in 2019. I had an EP out at the time. She had a tour that she was doing, and she asked me to perform on the tour. So ever since then, we've been really cool. So I didn't know that she was gonna be my love interest up until the day of. They kept saying Kandi, and I was like, oh, like, you know, I know other Kandis. So I was like, it didn't click for me. Then it was like, yeah, she came up. I was like, she showed up. I was like, what? Oh my God, you? So, you know, and actually when it was time for us to do those scenes, she had to pull me to the side because I could not stop laughing. I was very nervous. So I was like, we gonna kiss,
She didn't do a Denzel to Will Smith, like, it's like,
yeah,
you
like
can
she
do
had
this.
She literally had to pull me to the side. She was like, Jess, come on, man. Like, because I could not stop laughing. Dijon, who directed us, he was like, oh my God, like, please, like, stop laughing. Like, I just could not stop laughing. It was just my anxiety. I have never kissed a girl. I've never done any of this with a girl. And I'm very free thinking. I love women. I love titties. I love ass. I love all that. But I've never actually explored a woman's body. But Kandi is great. First of all, Kandi smells good. She just smells like a bag of candy. Like she just smells. Yeah, she smells really good. And I was like, oh my God, like it was at the end of the day. I didn't even get to like refresh my deodorant or nothing. And here this lady come in smelling like Chanel No. 5. Like it's really ridiculous. So it was great to do that with her. She made me very comfortable. And yeah, like I look forward to what people will say when they do see those scenes. I'm really like anxious to see like what the response is going to be.
But that leads me to ask, was there any part of the show when you were reading the script, you said, oh, we're going to go there for any of your characters? Whether it's you, Kendall, Pauline in the car, you know, Jenna, whatever we got coming up, you know, was there any point where you're like, I can do this? Or did you have to do a double take and say, you know, okay, I'm an actor. This is what we call for.
Definitely had to do many pep talks with myself, my scene partner. I'm like, so how do you feel? Like, let's talk about this. Why don't you come over? Let's run these lines, but then let's talk about this. So it was a lot. It was a lot of that. I was talking to the director a lot too. I'm like, so you really want me to do this? Like, let's talk about this. And it was like, listen, get out your head and, you know, play the part. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a lot of pep talks I had to do to myself, even the night before.
The good thing is, like, you're the difference, because obviously, you know, we have a number of shows on TV, you know, where there's female-centric you know, and you're getting their aspects of what's going on in their lives, and you're the difference, you know. Otherwise, people are gonna, if it was just you three ladies, they would compare you to the other shows we already seeing, you know, we're currently watching. You know, you add in something different. So, you know, when the shows comes up, who can best say what a la carte is? Which one of you can have the best answer?
It's its own thing, honestly. That's the best answer. I mean, things came before, you know, living single, where you get, you know, a diversity of friends and a friend group that are really connected. Like they don't ever miss a day seeing each other, and they share their entire lives with each other. So there's been iconic shows before, but
Girlfriends.
there's like us now. Yeah, girlfriends. But we have rain. We have rain. So it just, again, it makes us eat different.
And we're millennials.
Yes.
And millennials is totally different from any other show. This millennial era, we're different. We don't know how to date. We don't know how to stay committed. We want our cake and eat it too.
Yeah, we don't even know how to sleep with each other. I mean, living single, I think they hooked up with each other. I was like, that was smart.
Yeah.
Go upstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, go upstairs. Definitely go upstairs.
Yeah, I feel like it's like Sex in the City, but for Black people, because it's a whole lot of sex going on in the city. It's a lot of sex in the city on this show. But then, of course, like you do get people have like, everybody has something that they're going through that is a little bit piercing. You know what I mean? Like if you're watching the show, like somebody on the show, you're going to be able to relate to, like, dang, I did go through that, or I know someone who has gone through this. So then it gives you that balance.
It's really
and I was going to say, like, you know, as I watch the show and say everything's different, but then when there's a breakup, why has it got to be ice cream?
Because
I saw it as like,
it's like ice cream is comfort. It's like, it's quick comfort. You know what I mean? Like, it's like cornbread. It's like chicken. You know what I mean?
It's like when your parents whoop you and they know they felt bad.
Yeah.
Like, you want to go get some ice cream later?
Yep.
I don't think I had that experience, but
you never had that experience?
Nah, I had books where I was prepared. You know, but folks, it's been fun talking to you guys. Obviously, we're going to promote this a bit, people to watch it. All Black, a la carte. It's good talking to you guys. Wherever you're at, stay safe. Take care of yourselves.
Thank you, Wilson.
Thank you.